She's invisible now. 8 months since she buried her husband, and people stopped seeing her. Stopped calling, stopped checking, stopped expecting her to be okay. She canceled Christmas. Let the world move on while she stayed frozen in March, wearing his sweatshirt because it's the only thing that still feels real. Then on Christmas Eve morning, her late husband's best friend appears at her door. Snow falling. Holding a letter in shaking hands. Marcus gave me this 2 years ago. Made me promise to wait until now. Until the first Christmas after. The envelope has her husband's handwriting. Instructions for a treasure hunt. 5 stops around town. Places that meant everything. But there's something else in Levi's eyes. Something that looks like he's been carrying a secret that weighs more than grief. I have to come with you, he says. That's part of it. She doesn't know yet. Her husband planned this knowing exactly what she'd need. Knowing exactly who she'd need. Welcome to our channel, where we bring you emotional stories that stay with you. If you're new here, hit subscribe and the notification bell so you never miss a story. And if you're returning, thank you. Your support means everything. Now, stay until the end, drop a comment with your thoughts, and let's begin. Levi Bennett stood on her porch looking like he'd aged 5 years in the 8 months since the funeral. Snow caught in his sandy hair. His gray-blue eyes held something she couldn't read. In his hands, a white envelope. Shaking. I'm sorry. His voice rough. I should have come sooner. I couldn't. What is that? She stared at the envelope. He gave it to me. Levi's breath made clouds in the cold air. 2 years ago. February. Right after the diagnosis. Made me promise not to open it, not to even think about it until... He stopped. Swallowed hard. Until the first Christmas after. Simone's hands went cold. Not from the December wind cutting through her thin sweater. From the handwriting on the envelope. Marcus's terrible scrawl, the writing that always looked like a doctor's prescription, that she used to tease him about. For my best friend. Don't fuck this up. I can't. She started to close the door. Wait. Levi put his hand on the frame. Not pushing. Just there. He planned something. A whole thing. But I have to come with you. That's part of it. Part of what? I don't know yet. He wouldn't tell me. Just said when the time came, I'd open the letter and I'd understand. Levi's jaw worked. I opened it this morning. 5 a.m. Sat in my truck outside your house for 3 hours trying to figure out if I should do this. She should say no. Should close the door, go back to her dark living room, let Christmas pass like any other terrible day. But Marcus's handwriting stared at her from that envelope, and her husband had always been smarter than her about what she needed. What does it say? Levi pulled a folded paper from his jacket. His hands still shaking. Started reading. Hey man. If you're reading this, I'm gone, and it's the first Christmas, and my girls are probably falling apart. Simone canceled everything, didn't she? No tree. No lights. She's got that look she gets when she's trying to be strong for Nyla, but actually she's dying inside. I know my wife. Here's what you're going to do. Take them on a treasure hunt. I hid 5 things around town. 5 places that meant everything to us. You know which ones. Simone doesn't know I did this. She's going to fight you. She's going to say no. You're going to make her say yes. The first location is in your pocket. Don't read ahead. 1 at a time. And Levi, thank you. For all of it. Especially for what comes after. Simone's vision blurred. She blinked hard, refusing to cry in front of Levi again. She'd cried enough at the funeral, at the wake, at the dozens of times Levi had shown up in those first months just to sit quietly in her living room while she fell apart. There's more. Levi's voice cracked. He pulled a small card from his pocket. Read. First stop, the place I asked you to marry me. She'll remember where. Tell her I loved watching her say yes. The Overlook. Highway 12, mile marker 47, the pullout where you could see the whole valley. Marcus had proposed there on a Tuesday morning in October, right after a night shift, both of them exhausted and punch-drunk and so stupidly in love. Simone's throat closed. I can't do this. He knew you'd say that. Levi looked at her. Really looked, the way Marcus used to. Like he could see past the wall she'd built, past the strong face she wore, straight down to the broken thing underneath. He wrote something else. Bottom of the letter. Said to show you if you refused. He held out the paper. She didn't want to take it. Didn't want to see Marcus's words, his terrible handwriting, the proof that he'd known he was dying and had spent time planning this instead of. She took it. Baby. I know you. You're reading this over Levi's shoulder right now instead of taking the paper from him because you don't want to need this. You think you can white-knuckle your way through grief. You think if you just don't celebrate, don't remember, don't feel, it won't hurt so much. It's been 8 months. Nyla stopped talking about Christmas in October. You haven't cooked my mama's peach cobbler recipe. You're wearing my old Eagle sweatshirt right now because it still smells like me, but that smell is fading and you're terrified. Go with Levi. Please. Do this one thing. Not for me. For you. For Nyla. For the life you still have to live even though I'm not in it anymore. I love you. I loved you. I will always have loved you. Past, present, future. All of it. You were my favorite thing. Simone's knees went weak. She grabbed the doorframe. Levi reached for her instinctively, then stopped himself, hands frozen in the air between them. She was wearing the Eagle sweatshirt. Size XXL, Marcus's favorite. The one he'd worn every Sunday during football season. It didn't smell like him anymore. Just like her own laundry detergent and loneliness. How did he? He knew you. Levi's voice soft. Better than anyone. Behind her. Footsteps on the stairs. Nyla appeared, still in her pajamas. One of Marcus's old Denver Nuggets t-shirts that hung to her knees. Her daughter's face held that careful blankness she'd perfected since March. The look that said, I'm fine when fine was the furthest thing from the truth. Who is it? Nyla's voice small. Levi. Simone couldn't make herself say more. Nyla came to the door. Looked at Levi, at the letter in her mother's hand, at the snow falling soft and steady behind him. What's going on? Your dad planned something. Levi crouched down, eye level with Nyla even though she was almost as tall as Simone now, all legs and growing too fast. A Christmas treasure hunt. 5 stops around town. He left clues. Asked me to take you both. Nyla's face didn't change. Dad's dead. Yeah. Levi didn't flinch from it. Didn't do that thing adults did, softening it, making it easier. He is. But he planned this before. Wanted you to have it anyway. Why? Because he loved you. Both of you. Because he knew this Christmas would be hard. Nyla looked at her mother. Those brown eyes so much like Marcus's it hurt. Do you want to go? Simone didn't know. Wanted to crawl back into bed. Wanted to fast forward to December 26th when Christmas would be over and she could go back to just surviving instead of being expected to feel things. But Marcus had known. Had written that letter. Had planned 5 stops, 5 places, had asked Levi to do this. Yeah, Simone heard herself say. Yeah, baby. I think we should. Okay. Nyla turned and headed upstairs. I'll get dressed. Levi stood slowly. His eyes held something Simone couldn't name. Relief, maybe. Or fear. Or both. I'll wait in the truck. He gestured to the black pickup in her driveway. Take your time. Levi. He stopped. Turned back. Why did he ask you? Levi's jaw tightened. For a second, she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, because I was his best friend. Because he stopped. Started again. Because he trusted me to show up. Something in his voice. Something underneath the words. But before Simone could name it, he was walking to his truck, shoulders hunched against the snow. Simone closed the door. Leaned against it. Marcus's letter still in her hand. His handwriting blurring as tears finally came. She pressed the paper to her chest, right over the Eagle sweatshirt, right over her heart. Do this one thing. Okay, she whispered to the empty room, to the ghost of her husband, to the life she didn't know how to live anymore. Okay. 20 minutes later, they were in Levi's truck. Heat blasting. Radio off. Nyla in the back seat, looking out the window at the town sliding past. Christmas lights on every house except theirs. Wreaths on doors. Inflatable Santas fighting the wind. Levi drove in silence. Took Highway 12 north, toward the mountains. The road wound up and up, through pine trees heavy with snow. Simone remembered this drive. Remembered Marcus's nervous energy, the way he'd kept checking his pocket for the ring, the way his voice shook when he finally parked at the Overlook and turned to her and said, "I want to spend my whole life with you." She'd thought they'd have longer than 14 years. Levi pulled into the Overlook. Killed the engine. Mile marker 47. The valley spread below them, white and endless. The town looked small from up here. Manageable. Like problems could be solved and grief could be survived and life could keep going. He hid something here? Nyla's voice from the back seat. That's what he said. Levi got out. Came around to open Simone's door because that's what Marcus used to do. That small courtesy that said, "I see you, I've got you." The cold hit hard. Simone pulled Marcus's sweatshirt tighter. Levi led them to the railing at the Overlook's edge, the same railing Marcus had leaned against 16 years ago, 24 years old and terrified and so sure he wanted forever with her. Underneath the railing, tucked into a crevice in the rock, a small metal box. Levi pulled it out. Handed it to Simone. He said you should open it. Her hand shook. The box was cold. Waterproof. The kind Marcus used for camping trips. Inside, a photo. The two of them at this exact spot, right after she'd said yes. Marcus's arm around her, both of them grinning like idiots, her new ring catching the light. On the back, his handwriting. October 15th. The day I became the luckiest man alive. Remember this. Remember us. Remember that once upon a time, you believed in happy endings. M. Underneath the photo, a USB drive and another note. Next stop, Levi knows. Ask him about the night we met. Simone looked at Levi. What night? His expression shuddered. I'll tell you on the way. Quick pause. If you're feeling the story, hit the hype so others can find it. Comment where you're watching from. Now back to the story. Levi drove back down the mountain in silence. Simone watched his hands on the wheel. Steady. Capable. The same hands that had helped Marcus build the deck on their house, that had held her up at the funeral when her knees gave out, that were gripping the steering wheel now like it was the only thing keeping him together. The night you met. She prompted. His jaw tightened. Marcus didn't tell you. He said he met you in college. Freshman year. That you became best friends. Yeah. Levi exhaled slow. That's the version he told everyone. In the back seat, Nyla leaned forward. Listening. Levi pulled into the parking lot of Sam's Diner on Main Street. The place had been there for 40 years. Red vinyl booths, checkered floor, coffee that could strip paint. Simone and Marcus used to come here every Saturday morning. Pancakes for her, biscuits and gravy for him. Hot chocolate with extra marshmallows for Nyla. They hadn't been back since March. Here. Simone's voice came out strange. Here. Levi killed the engine. Stared at the diner like it might bite him. September 1997. I was 19. Working the night shift. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Saving up for spring semester because my financial aid fell through. He got out. They followed him inside. The diner smelled like bacon grease and coffee and cinnamon rolls. Irene, the owner, looked up from behind the counter. Her face softened when she saw them. Simone. Baby. Irene came around, arms open. Pulled Simone into a hug that smelled like her mama's kitchen. Haven't seen you in forever. I know. Simone's voice muffled against Irene's shoulder. I'm sorry. Don't you apologize. Grief's got its own timeline. Irene held her at arm's length. Looked at Levi. Levi Bennett. You bringing these girls out on Christmas Eve? Marcus planned something. Levi's voice careful. We're following his clues. Irene's eyes filled. She blinked hard. That man. Always thinking ahead. She looked at Simone. You here for what he left. You knew. Baby. Marcus came in here 2 years ago. February. Sat in that corner booth for 3 hours writing letters. Asked me to hold on to something. Said somebody would come asking. Irene disappeared into the back. Returned with a manila envelope. Made me promise not to open it. Not even to peek. She handed it to Simone. On the front, Marcus's writing. For the girls. To be opened at Sam's diner with Levi. Simone's hand shook. Nyla pressed against her side. Together they opened it. Inside, 3 things. A photo of Marcus at 19, sitting in a diner booth in a server's apron, grinning at the camera. A younger Levi beside him, mid-laugh, also in an apron. And a letter. Baby. You're at Sam's. Good. Levi probably drove in complete silence because he's panicking about what I asked him to do. He's going to tell you a story now. The real story of how we met. Listen to all of it. Don't interrupt. He earned the right to tell it his way. After he tells you, there's something in this envelope for Nyla. A gift I meant to give her on her 16th birthday, but I'm not going to make it that far. I'm okay with that. Disappointed, but okay. I got 12 years with her. Some dads don't get that much. The USB drive from the Overlook has videos. 1 for each of you. Watch them later. When you're ready. No rush. Next stop. Ask Levi about my 21st birthday. He'll know where to go. Love you both. Merry Christmas. M. Simone looked at Levi. Tell me. Levi gestured to a booth in the corner. The same booth from the photo. They slid in, Simone and Nyla on one side, Levi across from them. Irene brought coffee without asking. Hot chocolate for Nyla, extra marshmallows, just like Marcus used to order. Levi wrapped his hands around his mug. Stared into it like it held answers. I was working the overnight shift. September 12th, 1997. It was a Friday, so we were busy until about 2 a.m. Then it was just me and Irene and the cook. I was wiping down tables when this guy came in. 19 like me. Black kid in a CU Boulder sweatshirt, looking lost. Sat at the counter. Ordered coffee and pie. Levi's voice went quiet. Remembering. He was crying. Trying not to. Doing that thing where you keep your head down and hope nobody notices. But I noticed. Asked if he was okay. He said. Levi stopped. Swallowed. He said, my dad just told me I'm cut off. Full ride to see you, but he's not paying for anything else. Books, housing, food. Nothing. Because I wouldn't quit the football team and transfer to the business program. Simone's chest tightened. Marcus had never told her this. Had always just said his dad was difficult, that they didn't talk much. So I sat down. Levi continued. My break. Told him Irene was hiring. Overnight shift. Cash under the table until he could get his work study sorted. Said I'd train him. Split my tips until he got his own section. You gave him a job. Nyla's voice small. I gave him a chance. Levi met Nyla's eyes. Because 2 years before that somebody gave me one. When my mom kicked me out for being, he stopped. Started again. For not being what she wanted. This diner saved my life. So I paid it forward. He pulled another photo from the envelope. Marcus and Levi, months later, both in Santa hats, covered in flour, grinning at the camera. Behind them, the diner kitchen. We worked together for 3 years. Through college. He was the night shift, I was the morning shift, but we overlapped on weekends. Became best friends. He met you junior year right here at this counter. You came in at 2 a.m. during finals week, ordered pancakes and looked at him like he'd hung the moon. Simone remembered. Marcus had been so nervous. Had refilled her coffee 4 times in 20 minutes. Had finally asked for her number and nearly dropped the pot when she said yes. He proposed here first. Levi's voice rough. Before the overlook. Right here at this booth. Practiced on me. Must have done it 15 times, trying to get the words right. I didn't know that. He wanted the real proposal to be perfect. So he practiced. I told him he was overthinking it. That you'd say yes no matter how he asked. Levi's gray-blue eyes held something that made Simone's breath catch. He said, I know. But she deserves perfect anyway. The diner went quiet. Just the hum of the refrigerator, the distant sound of Irene humming in the kitchen. Nyla wiped her eyes. What's the gift? For me. Simone pulled out the last item in the envelope. A small box. Inside, a necklace. Silver chain. Delicate. A pendant shaped like a shooting star. And a note in Marcus's handwriting. Nyla Bean. You're 12 now. Almost 13. Probably taller than your mom. You've got my height and her brains, which means you're going to do amazing things. This was my mom's necklace. Grammy wore it every day. She told me to give it to my daughter when she was old enough to understand what it means. It means you're made of stars. You're named after them, Nyla, from the Nile, from the sky, from the infinite. When things get hard, when you miss me, look up. Find the stars. Remember you come from something bigger than sadness. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm sorry I won't be there to see who you become. But I know it's going to be extraordinary. Dad. Nyla's face crumpled. She pressed the necklace to her chest and sobbed. The kind of crying she'd been holding back for 8 months. The kind that lived in the body, in the bones, in the space between heartbeats. Simone pulled her daughter into her arms. Held her while she shook. Looked at Levi over Nyla's head and saw his eyes wet, jaw clenched, fighting his own grief. Irene appeared with tissues. Set them down quietly. Put her hand on Simone's shoulder and squeezed. They sat like that for a long time. Nyla crying into her mother's shoulder. Simone stroking her daughter's hair. Levi across from them, bearing witness to their breaking open. Finally, Nyla pulled back. Wiped her face. Will you put it on me? Simone's hands shook as she clasped the necklace. The shooting star settled right over Nyla's heart. It caught the diner light and glowed. It's beautiful, baby. Dad picked it. Nyla touched the pendant. He always knew what I needed. He did. Simone's throat tight. Even now. Levi cleared his throat. There's more stops. 3 more. But we can take a break if you need. No. Nyla's voice stronger now. Steadier. Keep going. I want to see what else he left. Simone looked at her daughter. 12 years old and braver than Simone felt. Wearing her father's necklace and her father's t-shirt and somehow still standing. Okay. Simone looked at Levi. His 21st birthday. Where? Levi stood. Pulled out his wallet. Left a 20 on the table even though Irene tried to wave it off. The lake. North End. Hill. He left something there. They walked out into the snow. Christmas Eve afternoon now. The town looked softer in daylight. Gentler. Like maybe the world wasn't as broken as it felt. In the truck, Nyla fell asleep against the window. Exhausted from crying. The shooting star pendant rose and fell with her breathing. Levi drove toward the lake. The silence different now. Less empty. More like they were both carrying the same weight and didn't need words for it. Thank you. Simone's voice quiet. For helping him. Back then. For giving him a chance. He did the same for me. More times than I can count. Levi kept his eyes on the road. He was the best person I knew. Yeah. Simone's eyes burned. He was. The thing is. Levi stopped. Shook his head. Never mind. What? Nothing. Just. He pulled into the lake parking lot. Empty on Christmas Eve. Everyone home with family. He wanted you to be happy. After. He talked about it. A lot. Those last few months. Simone's stomach twisted. Levi. I'm just saying what he said. That's all. Levi got out of the truck, came around to her door. Come on. One more stop today, then we can head home. But Simone sat there, watching him walk toward the lake, and felt something shift. Something in the way he'd said he wanted you to be happy. Something in the way he wouldn't look at her when he said it. Something that felt like the truth was bigger than she'd thought. The lake stretched out frozen and white. Mountains ringed it like guardians. This was where Marcus had turned 21. A bonfire party with college friends, cheap beer, terrible music, the kind of night that felt infinite when you were young enough to believe in forever. Levi led them to the north end, where the hiking trail started. Snow covered everything, their footprints the only marks in the white. He came here the morning of his 21st birthday. Levi's breath made clouds. Before the party. Asked me to come with him. Said he needed to talk. They walked. Nyla awake now, trailing behind them, the shooting star catching light through her jacket. What did he want to talk about? Simone asked. Levi stopped at a large pine tree. Pulled something from his pocket. A photo, laminated. Protected from weather. He handed it to Simone. Marcus at 21. Levi beside him. Both of them young and happy and alive. On the back, Marcus's handwriting. October 1999. The day I told my best friend I was going to marry Simone Hayes. He told me I was crazy. I told him I was sure. We were both right. He wasn't crazy. Simone's voice thick. No. Levi crouched down. Brushed snow away from the base of the tree. A small metal box, like the one at the overlook, tucked into the roots. He pulled it out. Handed it to Simone. But I was wrong about something else. Inside the box. A letter. Not for Simone. For Levi. Simone started to hand it back, but Levi shook his head. He said you should read it. All of them. He said, his voice cracked. He said you needed to understand. Her hands shook as she unfolded it. Levi, if Simone is reading this, it means you actually brought her here. Good man. I knew you would. Brother, we need to talk. The real talk. The one we never had because you're too damn noble and I pretended not to see it. I knew. From the beginning. From that day she walked into the diner and you saw her first. You looked at her like she was sunlight. Then I asked for her number and you stepped back. You always stepped back. At my wedding you gave that best man speech. Remember? You said, I've never seen Simone happier than when she's with Marcus. What you didn't say, I've never wanted anything more than I want her to be happy, even if it's not with me. I heard it anyway. You've been in love with my wife for 16 years. Don't argue. Don't deny it. I'm dead and I'm still calling you out. Here's the thing, I'm not mad. I never was. You think I didn't notice how you stopped coming around after Nyla was born? How you threw yourself into work, moved 2 hours away, only visited on holidays. You think I didn't know why? You were protecting her. Protecting me. Protecting the life we built. Because that's who you are. So now I'm going to ask you to do the hardest thing. Stop protecting us from you. She's going to need someone. Not right away. Not soon. But eventually. When the grief stops being fresh and starts being chronic. When she realizes she has to figure out how to live again. I want it to be you. Not because you're convenient. Not because you're safe. But because you see her. Really see her. The way I did. The way she deserves. You're going to fight this. You're going to say it's wrong, it's too soon, it's disrespectful. You're going to run like you always run. Don't. Stay. Show up. Let her see you seeing her. And Levi, stop punishing yourself for feeling something beautiful. Love isn't betrayal. It's the opposite. Thank you for the last 20 years. Thank you for being the best friend I ever had. Thank you for what comes next. Marcus. Simone read it twice. 3 times. The words blurring and sharpening and rearranging everything she thought she understood. She looked at Levi. He stood 10 feet away, back to her, shoulders rigid. staring out at the frozen lake like it might save him. You loved me. Her voice barely sound. Don't. The word came out broken. Please don't. How long? Simone. How long, Levi? He turned. His face was devastation. Gray-blue eyes wet, jaw tight, hands and fists at his sides. Since the first moment. Since you walked into that diner at 2 a.m. with snow in your hair and ordered pancakes. Since before Marcus even said hello to you. The world tilted. Simone grabbed the tree for balance. But he, Levi's voice cracked. He talked to you first. He was braver. He was better. So I stepped back. I watched him fall in love with you and I was happy for him. I swear to God I was happy. Levi. I was his best man at your wedding. I held Nyla the day she was born. I've spent 16 years being your friend and his brother, and it was enough. It was enough because you were happy. Nyla stood frozen, watching. The shooting star pendant catching light. Then he got sick. Levi's voice dropped to almost nothing. And he spent his last 6 months trying to give me permission for something I never asked for. Something I don't deserve. Why didn't you tell me? Tell you what? That I spent 2 decades loving someone I couldn't have? That I moved away because staying close to you was killing me? That every time I came back for a visit, I had to spend 3 days afterward putting myself back together? He laughed, bitter. What would that have accomplished except making everything harder? Simone's legs went weak. She sat down hard in the snow. Mom. Nyla's voice small. I'm okay, baby. Simone wasn't okay. Nothing was okay. Marcus was dead and his best friend had been in love with her for 16 years and she'd never seen it. Never guessed. Never wondered why Levi looked at her the way he did sometimes, like she hurt him just by existing. Levi crouched in front of her. Not touching. Just there. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. Marcus wanted me to tell you, but I shouldn't have. Is that why you came today? Because he asked you to. I came because he asked. I came because it's Christmas Eve and you canceled everything and he knew you'd need. Levi stopped. Shook his head. I came because I can't stay away from you. I never could. The air felt thin. Simone couldn't catch her breath. 16 years. All those dinners at their house. Levi sitting across from her, passing bread, asking about her day. All those times Marcus got called into work and Levi stayed to keep her company. All those family barbecues and Nyla's birthdays and quiet moments that felt easy and safe. And underneath it all this enormous, impossible thing. I'm not asking for anything. Levi's voice steady now. Resigned. I'm not expecting anything. Marcus had this idea, this plan, but I know it's not. I know you don't. He stood. We can stop. The treasure hunt. We can go home. You don't have to. No. Simone pushed to her feet. Snow clung to her jeans. Marcus's sweatshirt. No, we're finishing it. All 5 stops. Simone. He planned this. For us. For Nyla. We're finishing it. She looked at him. Really looked. Saw the grief written in every line of his face. The exhaustion. The love he'd been carrying alone for so long it had worn grooves into him. Where's the next stop? Levi's jaw worked. He pulled out Marcus's letter again. Read. 3rd stop, the hospital. The day Nyla was born. You remember that waiting room, Levi. What we talked about. What I made you promise. The hospital. 20 minutes back toward town. They drove in silence. Nyla in the back seat, staring out the window, processing everything she'd heard. Simone in the passenger seat, her mind racing. The hospital parking lot was nearly empty. Christmas Eve. Only emergency cases and babies who couldn't wait. Levi led them inside. To the maternity ward. To the waiting room on the 3rd floor where Marcus had paced for 14 hours while Simone labored. Where Levi had sat with him, keeping him calm, keeping him company. Taped to the back of a chair in the corner. Another envelope. The tape old, yellowed. Like it had been there for 12 years. Levi peeled it off carefully. Inside, a letter and a photo. Marcus holding newborn Nyla. Levi standing next to him, looking down at the baby with such tenderness. The letter was addressed to Simone. Baby, you're at the hospital. The place where Nyla came into the world and our life got perfect. You were so tired. So strong. So beautiful. Remember what I said when they finally let me hold her? She's going to change everything. I was right. While you were sleeping, after when they'd moved you to recovery, Levi and I sat in that waiting room. He looked shell-shocked. I asked him what was wrong. He said, nothing. Everything. She's perfect. I said, if something ever happens to me, I need you to promise you'll take care of them. He said, nothing's going to happen to you. I said, promise anyway. He promised. 12 years ago. He's been keeping that promise ever since. The overnight texts when I was working late, making sure you weren't alone. The time your car broke down and he drove 2 hours to help. Every birthday, every holiday, every time you needed something and I wasn't enough. He showed up. Always. Not because he had to. Because he loved you. Because he loves Nyla. Because that's what love does. Fourth stop, our house. The deck. You'll understand when you get there. Almost done. I'm proud of you for making it this far. M. Simone folded the letter slowly. Looked at Levi. He leaned against the wall, eyes closed, jaw tight. You promised him. Her voice soft. Yeah. 12 years ago. Yeah. And you've been keeping it. I tried. His eyes opened. Met hers. I'm still trying. Nyla walked over to him. Stood in front of him until he looked down at her. Then she hugged him. Fierce. Tight. The way she used to hug Marcus. Levi's face crumpled. He wrapped his arms around her and held on like she was the only thing keeping him upright. Thank you for taking care of us. Nyla's voice muffled against his chest. Thank you for showing up. Simone watched them. Her daughter and the man who'd loved them from a distance for 12 years. The man who'd kept promises no one asked him to keep. Who'd stepped back so Marcus could step forward. Who'd carried this enormous thing alone because he thought that's what love required. The grief in her chest shifted. Made room for something else. Something that felt like understanding. Like the beginning of seeing clearly. Come on. She said. Let's go home. The house looked different when they pulled up. Still no Christmas lights. Still dark. But somehow less empty. Like the treasure hunt had filled it with something. Memory, presence, Marcus himself reaching through time. Levi killed the engine. Stared at the house like it might swallow him whole. You built the deck. Simone said. Statement not question. We both did. Marcus designed it. I did most of the labor. Levi's hands tight on the wheel. Took us 3 summers. He kept changing his mind about the layout. He wanted it perfect. He wanted you to have a place to sit in the mornings. With your coffee. Where you could see the mountains. Simone's throat closed. The deck wrapped around the back of the house. Cedar. Weathered silver now. Wide enough for a table, chairs. The grill Marcus had used every Sunday. She'd spent 1,000 mornings there. Coffee going cold while she watched the sun come up over the peaks. She hadn't sat there once since March. They got out. Walked around back. Snow covered the deck, virgin white. No footprints. No disturbance. Like time had stopped when Marcus did. Levi brushed snow off the railing. Underneath, carved into the wood in small letters. M+S, June 2010. He did that the day we finished. Levi's voice rough. Said he wanted to mark it. Proof that he'd built something that would last. Simone traced the letters with her finger. Cold. Permanent. Marcus's handwriting made solid. Taped underneath the railing, protected by a plastic bag. Another envelope. Levi pulled it free. Handed it to Simone. This one thicker. Heavier. Inside, photos. Dozens of them. Marcus and Levi building the deck. Simone pregnant with Nyla, sitting in a lawn chair, laughing at something. The deck half finished. 3/4 done. Complete. Marcus standing on it, arms spread, grinning like he'd built a cathedral. And a letter. Baby, remember the summer we built this? You were 7 months pregnant. It was 95 degrees. I was convinced I could finish before Nyla came. Levi told me I was insane. He was right. But he showed up every weekend anyway. Drove 2 hours. Brought lumber. Brought tools. Brought lunch because I always forgot to eat. One Saturday you were inside napping. I asked him why. Why he kept coming. Why he helped with everything. Why he never seemed to have his own life. He said, "Because you're my brother. Because you're family." He almost said it. Because she's everything. I heard it anyway. I didn't say anything. Should have. Should have told him I knew. That it was okay. That I understood loving you was inevitable. This deck was supposed to be my gift to you. But really, it was ours. Mine and Levi's. Proof that love doesn't have to be possessive to be real. There's something else under the deck. Northwest corner. You'll need to look underneath. 5th stop after this. Levi knows. It's the last one. I promise. I love you. I love that you're still reading. I love that you're letting him help you through this. M. Simone looked at Levi. Northwest corner. He was already moving. Knelt in the snow at the corner of the deck. Reached underneath. Pulled out a wooden box. Larger than the others. Cedar like the deck. Handmade. He set it on the deck between them. Didn't open it. Just stared. You don't know what's in it? Simone asked. No. His voice tight. He built this. By himself. Told me to hide it under here 2 years ago. Made me promise not to look. Nyla crouched down. Open it, Mom. Simone's hands shook as she lifted the lid. Inside, a journal. Leather bound. Marcus's handwriting filling page after page. And on top a note. Simone. This is every thought I had in the 6 months between diagnosis and when I couldn't write anymore. Every fear. Every hope. Every conversation I had with God about why this wasn't fair. I wrote about you. About Nyla. About the life I wanted to have and the one I got and how they were different but both were good. I wrote about Levi too. A lot. About what I was asking him to do. About whether it was fair. About whether he'd actually do it or if he'd run like he always runs. Read it when you're ready. No rush. Could be next week. Could be next year. Could be never. It's yours now. But there's one entry I need you to read today. December 15th. 2 years ago. The day I knew for sure. Read it. Then go to the last stop. M. Simone's hands shook as she flipped to December 15th. 2 years ago. Right before Christmas. Right after the cancer diagnosis, before treatment, when hope was still possible. December 15th. Bad day. Oncologist said the treatment plan needs to be more aggressive. Said we're looking at months, not years. Simone cried in the parking lot. I held her and lied and said it would be okay. Came home. She went to bed early. Exhausted. I sat on the deck even though it was freezing. Trying to figure out how to do this. How to leave them. Levi called. He calls every night now. Checking on me. On us. Tonight I broke. Told him I was scared. That I didn't know how to prepare Simone for this. That I didn't know how to say goodbye. He said, "You don't have to figure it out alone." I said, "I need you to promise me something. After. When I'm gone. I need you to be there for them. Not just checking in. Really there. The way you've always wanted to be." Long silence. Then, "Marcus, I can't." "Yes, you can. You love her. I know. I've always known. And it's okay. It's more than okay. It's what I want." "That's not, you can't ask me to. I'm asking you to be happy. Both of you. I'm asking you to stop running. I'm asking you to let yourself want something." He hung up, called back 10 minutes later, said, "I'll be there. For them. I promise. But not the way you're thinking." I said, "We'll see. Because I know him. He'll show up. He'll take care of them. He'll do everything I ask except the one thing he wants most. Let himself be loved back. That's his choice. But I'm going to make it as hard as possible for him to keep choosing loneliness. This treasure hunt is my last gift to all three of them. To Simone and Nyla, proof that I love them through to the end. To Levi, permission to stop punishing himself. I hope it works. I hope they find each other on the other side of grief. I hope he stops running. I hope she sees him the way I do, as the best man I ever knew." Simone's vision blurred, tears hot on her cold cheeks. She looked at Levi and saw him breaking, saw 16 years of careful control cracking open. He knew. Levi's voice wrecked. He knew everything and he still asked me to. He trusted you. Simone's voice shaking. He loved you. I can't. Levi stood abruptly, backed away. I can't do this. I can't be what he wanted. I can't. Levi. You don't understand. His voice rose, broke. I've spent 16 years watching you love him, watching you build a life with him, watching you be happy with someone who wasn't me. And it was fine. I made it fine. Because he was my best friend and you were off limits and I knew my place. He ran his hand through his hair, paced, snow crunching under his boots. But he's gone now. And I'm here. And he's asking me to what? Step into his place? Take his life? Love his wife and raise his daughter and pretend that's not the most selfish thing I could possibly do? That's not what he's asking. Simone stood, stepped toward him. Then what? Levi's eyes wild, desperate. What is he asking? Because I've been trying to figure it out for 2 years and I still don't know. He's asking you to stop punishing yourself for being human. Simone's voice steady now, clear. He's asking you to stop running. He's asking you to stay. I don't know how to do that. Yes, you do. You've been doing it. Today. Every day for 12 years. You show up, Levi. That's what you do. Nyla stepped between them, looked at Levi with her father's eyes, her father's directness. Do you love us? Levi's face crumpled. Yes. Do you want to be here? With us? More than anything. His voice broke. But I can't. Why not? Because it's wrong. Because he just died. Because you deserve better than. Dad wanted this. Nyla's voice fierce. Strong. He planned 5 stops. He wrote all those letters. He knew. He gave permission. So stop saying it's wrong when he said it was right. Simone's heart cracked open. Her 12-year-old daughter, wearing her father's necklace, speaking truth that cut through every excuse. Levi looked at Nyla. At Simone. At the deck he'd built with Marcus's hands and his own. At the house that held 16 years of being close but not close enough. I'm scared. He whispered. I'm so fucking scared. Of what? Simone asked softly. That I'll fail. That I won't be enough. That you'll wake up one day and realize you settled for second best. Simone closed the distance between them. Stood close enough to see the gray in his blue eyes. The lines grief had carved around his mouth. Close enough to feel his breath. You've never been second best, Levi. Not to Marcus. Not to me. Not to anyone who's ever really seen you. His breath caught. I'm not saying I'm ready. I'm not saying tomorrow or next week or even next year. But I'm saying, she stopped. Found the words. I'm saying don't run. Not this time. Stay. Let me see you. Let me figure out what this is. Simone. One more stop. She said. You said there's one more. Where? Levi's jaw worked. He pulled out Marcus's final note. Read, voice shaking. Last stop, the cemetery. My grave. There's something I left for all three of you. Something I need you to hear. Trust me. One last time. The cemetery. Where Marcus's body lay under frozen ground. Where Simone hadn't been since the funeral because she couldn't stand seeing his name carved in stone. Okay, she said. Let's go. The cemetery sat on a hill overlooking the valley. White crosses and headstones emerged from snow-like teeth. The mountains beyond were purple in the late afternoon light. Christmas Eve sunset coming fast. Simone hadn't been here since they lowered Marcus into the ground. Couldn't stand it. The finality. The wrongness of him being under earth when he should be home making terrible jokes and burning dinner and being alive. Levi parked near the entrance. None of them moved. We don't have to do this today. His voice quiet. We can come back. No. Simone opened her door. He said Christmas Eve. He planned it this way. They walked through snow to Marcus's grave. Simple headstone. Black granite. His name, his dates, and the word Simone had chosen. Beloved husband, father, friend. He loved big. Someone had been here recently. The snow around the grave was disturbed. A small evergreen wreath leaned against the headstone. Fresh. Today. Did you? Simone looked at Levi. He shook his head. Then understanding crossed his face. His mother. She always comes Christmas Eve morning. Marcus's mother. Patricia. Who'd lost her only son and somehow kept breathing. Who'd held Simone at the funeral and whispered, "It's okay to fall apart, baby. That's what family's for." Behind the wreath, a metal box. Larger than the others. Heavy. Levi lifted it. Set it in the snow between them. On top, Marcus's handwriting on laminated paper. My three favorite people. If you made it here, I'm proud of you. I know this one was hard. The cemetery. My grave. The proof that I'm really gone. Inside this box. 3 things. A video. Final words for each of you. And something else. Something I need you to do for me. There's a bench 50 yards east. The one overlooking the valley where Mom likes to sit. Take the box there. Watch the video together. All 3 of you. This is the last thing I'm asking. After this, you're free. No more treasure hunts. No more letters from dead men. Just your lives, however you choose to live them. I love you. All 3 of you. Thank you for loving me back. Marcus. They found the bench. Brushed off snow. Sat, Simone in the middle, Nyla on her right, Levi on her left. Close enough that their shoulders touched. Close enough that they could share warmth against the cold. Inside the box, a tablet, fully charged. A note taped to the screen. Press play. Watch together. Simone's hands shook as she pressed play. The screen filled with Marcus's face. Thinner than she remembered. Pale, but smiling. Sitting in their bedroom, she recognized the blue wall behind him, the wedding photo on the dresser. This was from the end. Maybe weeks before he died. When getting out of bed took everything he had. Hey, baby. His voice. God, his voice. Simone's breath caught. Beside her, Nyla made a small sound. Hey, Nyla Bean. Hey, Levi. He smiled. That crooked smile that always made Simone's heart skip. You made it through the treasure hunt. 5 stops. All those letters. All those secrets I probably should have told you when I was alive, but I was a coward about big conversations. Sorry about that. Simone. My love. My best thing. His eyes got wet. I'm sorry I'm leaving you. I'm sorry you have to figure out how to live without me. I'm sorry for every tomorrow I won't be there for. But I'm not sorry for the time we had. 16 years. 1 daughter. 1,000 ordinary moments that were extraordinary because they were ours. I'd do it all again. Every second. Even knowing how it ends. Simone pressed her hand to her mouth. Tears streaming. I need you to do something for me. I need you to be happy. Not today. Not tomorrow. But eventually. I need you to let yourself want things again. Need things. Love things. You're 36. You have so much life left. Please don't waste it being loyal to a ghost. He turned slightly, looking at someone off camera. Nyla. My brilliant, beautiful girl. You're 12 when you're watching this. Almost a teenager. Probably taller than your mom by now. Probably mad at me for dying. That's okay. Be mad. Be sad. Be whatever you need to be. But know this. You were the best thing I ever did. The best thing I ever made. Every cliché about parenthood is true. You made me better. You made me want to be better. I won't see you graduate. Won't walk you down any aisles. Won't meet your kids. I hate that. But I got 12 years. Some dads don't get that. I'm grateful for what I had. His voice cracked. He wiped his eyes. Take care of your mom. Let her take care of you. You're going to be okay. Both of you. Better than okay. He looked directly at the camera now. His eyes serious. Levi. Brother. Best friend. The man who's been carrying a torch for 16 years because you're too damn noble for your own good. Thank you. For everything. For giving me a chance when we were 19. For being there through every moment that mattered. For keeping promises you didn't have to keep. I'm about to ask you to keep one more. Take care of them. Not from a distance. Not as the family friend who checks in every few months. Really take care of them. Be present. Be constant. Be what they need. And let them take care of you back. You're going to fight this. You're going to say it's too soon, it's wrong, they need time. But here's what I know, life is short. Love is rare. And you three, you fit together in a way that makes sense to everyone except you. So stop running, Levi. Please. You've been running since the day you met Simone. From college to 2 hours away. From visiting to staying gone. From feeling to pretending you don't. Stay this time. Let yourself be happy. Let yourself be loved. Marcus leaned forward, his face filling the screen. Simone, there's something in the box. For both of you. For all three of you. Open it after the video. I love you. God, I love you all so much. Merry Christmas, my loves. Make it a good one. The screen went black. The three of them sat in silence. The sun setting over the mountains. The valley below filling with shadow and light. Christmas Eve turning to Christmas Eve evening. Nyla broke first. Sobbed into her hands. Simone pulled her close, held her daughter while she shook. Over Nyla's head she met Levi's eyes. He looked wrecked. Undone. There's more. He gestured to the box. He said, I know. Simone reached into the box. Pulled out an envelope. Heavier than the others. Something inside. She opened it. Two things fell out. A key. House key. But not to Marcus's house. Different. And a deed. Property deed. To a cabin. In the mountains. 40 miles north. The place Marcus had always talked about buying. Where he wanted to retire someday. Teach Nyla to fish. Sit on the porch and grow old. A note attached. I bought it 6 months before I died. Before I got too sick to do paperwork. Put it in Simone's name. But I bought it for all three of you. The cabin needs work. Roof. Deck. Plumbing probably. It's a project. The kind that takes time and effort and more than one person. Levi, you're good at building things. Fixing things. Making things last. Simone, you're good at making spaces feel like home. Nyla, you're good at making people laugh when they've forgotten how. Together you could make it something beautiful. Or you could sell it. Take the money. Forget I tried to orchestrate your lives from beyond the grave. Your choice. Always your choice. But if you keep it, if you fix it together, I think you'll figure out what I already knew. You're supposed to be a family. The three of you. It makes sense. Merry Christmas. I love you. Go home. Have dinner. Be together. That's all I want. M. Simone held the key. Cold metal against her palm. A cabin in the mountains. A project. A future Marcus had imagined for them. He bought us a house. Levi's voice hollow. He bought us a life. He gave us an option. Simone corrected. He said we could sell it. Could you? Levi looked at her. Could you sell something he bought for you? I don't know. Simone's voice small. I don't know anything right now. Nyla pulled back. Wiped her face. Looked at both of them with red eyes and her father's necklace catching the last light. I want to keep it. Baby. I want to keep it. Stronger now. I want to fix it. I want. Her voice cracked. I want something of Dad's that isn't just sad. I want something we build. The three of us. Like he wanted. Simone looked at Levi. He stared at the key in her hand like it was a grenade. This is insane. He said. We can't just. Why not? Nyla challenged. Why can't we? Because it's too fast. Because your mom needs time. Because He stopped. Shook his head. Because I don't know how to do this. Nobody does. Simone's voice quiet. Nobody knows how to keep living after. Nobody knows how to let go and hold on at the same time. Nobody knows how to grieve and hope at once. She stood. Walked to the edge of the overlook. The valley spread below. The town lit up for Christmas. Every house glowing. Every family together. 8 months ago she'd wanted to die. Not actively. Just wanted to stop existing. Stop hurting. Stop waking up to a world without Marcus in it. But she hadn't died. She'd survived. And somewhere in that survival, somewhere between the morning Nyla stopped talking about Christmas and this afternoon when her daughter hugged Levi like he was safety itself, somewhere in there something had shifted. She turned back. Looked at Levi. I'm not ready to promise you anything. I'm not ready to know what this is or what it could be. But I'm ready to stop running. I'm ready to see where we go if nobody's running. Levi stood slowly. Walked to her. Stopped close enough that she could see the fear in his eyes. The hope he was trying not to feel. What are you saying? I'm saying we keep the cabin. We fix it together. We figure it out as we go. She held up the key. I'm saying Marcus was right about you. You show up. You stay. That's worth something. Simone. I'm saying I see you now. Really see you. And I don't know what that means yet. But I want to find out. Levi's breath caught. His eyes searched hers. Looking for certainty he wouldn't find because she didn't have it. Just had this moment. This key. This ridiculous gift from her dead husband who'd loved her enough to plan her future without him in it. Okay. Levi's voice barely sound. Okay. Nyla appeared beside them. Put her hand over theirs. Over the key. Together. Simone looked at her daughter. At Levi. At the three of them standing on a hill on Christmas Eve with nothing figured out except that they were going to try. Together. She said. The sun set. The stars came out. Christmas Eve became Christmas. And for the first time in 8 months, Simone felt something other than grief. She felt possible. They drove back to the house in silence. Not the empty silence of before. Something fuller. Heavier with possibility. Simone's phone buzzed as they pulled into the driveway. Text from Patricia, Marcus's mother. Merry Christmas Eve, baby. I left something on your porch. Don't argue. Just accept it. Love you. On the porch. 3 casserole dishes. A peach cobbler. A note in Patricia's handwriting. I know you canceled Christmas. Marcus wouldn't want that. Feed those babies. Feed yourself. Call me tomorrow. Mama P. Simone's eyes burned. Patricia had lost her son. Her only child. And she was still showing up. Still taking care of them. Mom's peach cobbler recipe. Levi's voice soft behind her. Marcus loved that. He did. Simone picked up the dishes. He'd eat half of it before dinner. They went inside. The house still dark. Still without lights or tree. But somehow less hollow. Like the treasure hunt had filled it with Marcus's presence. With memory that felt like blessing instead of haunting. Nyla flipped on lights. Stood in the living room looking at the empty corner where the tree usually went. Can we, she stopped. Started again. Would it be okay if we put up a tree? Not a big one. Just something. Simone's throat closed. Baby, the stores are probably closed. I have one. Levi said quietly. In my truck. A small one. I brought it this morning. In case. He stopped. I didn't know if you'd want it. But I brought it anyway. Simone looked at him. This man who'd been preparing for 16 years to take care of them. Who'd brought a Christmas tree on the chance she might be ready to see lights again. Yeah. She said. Yeah, let's put it up. They worked together. Levi brought in the tree. 4 feet tall, perfect for the corner table. Nyla found the box of ornaments in the garage. Simone heated up Patricia's food. Mac and cheese. Collard greens. Cornbread. The smell filled the house. Made it feel lived in. While the food warmed, they decorated. Nyla hung Marcus's favorite ornament. The Denver Nuggets basketball he'd gotten at his first game. Simone added the one from their first Christmas together. A terrible ceramic reindeer she'd made in a pottery class. Crooked and ugly and precious. Levi hung back. Watching. Not participating. Like he wasn't sure he had permission. You too. Nyla held out an ornament. The one Marcus had given Levi 10 years ago. A small wooden cross with brother carved into it. Dad would want you to. Levi took it. His hands shaking. Hung it carefully on a lower branch. They ate dinner at the kitchen table. Not the dining room where they'd had family dinners when Marcus was alive. Too formal. Too full of ghosts. The kitchen felt safer. Smaller. Manageable. Patricia's cooking tasted like comfort. Like Sunday dinners after church. Like the kind of love that showed up in aluminum foil and refused to let you starve. This is good, Nyla said. Mouth full of cornbread. Really good. Your Grammy knows what she's doing. Simone's voice thick. She always did. They ate in comfortable silence. The tree lights blinking in the living room. The house warm for the first time in months. Outside, snow started falling again. Soft. Steady. Like the world was tucking itself in for the night. After dinner, Nyla disappeared upstairs. Came back down in Marcus's old sweatpants and a t-shirt. Carrying her laptop. Can we watch something? Like we used to. On Christmas Eve. They'd had a tradition. Christmas Eve movie. Usually something terrible. Die Hard or Home Alone or one of those cheesy Hallmark movies Marcus pretended to hate but secretly loved. They'd make popcorn. Sit on the couch. Fall asleep halfway through. They hadn't done it last year. Marcus too sick. This year no Marcus. No tradition. No reason. Except here was Nyla asking. Here was Levi looking uncertain but hopeful. Here was the possibility of making new traditions that honored old ones. Yeah. Simone said. Yeah, we can do that. They settled in the living room. Nyla in the middle of the couch. Simone on her right. Space on her left for Levi, who hesitated before sitting. Not too close. Careful not to presume. Nyla pulled up Die Hard. Marcus's favorite. The one he'd watched every Christmas since he was 16. Dad's choice. Nyla said. Voice steady. Strong. Seems right. They watched. The movie familiar and comforting. Simone found herself relaxing. Her shoulder touching Nyla's. Nyla's foot touching Levi's leg. The three of them connected without thinking about it. Halfway through, Nyla's breathing evened out. Asleep. Head on Simone's shoulder. The shooting star pendant rising and falling with her breath. Simone looked at Levi. He was watching Nyla. His face soft. Full of something that looked like love. Like family. Thank you. Simone said quietly. For today. For all of it. You don't have to thank me. Yes, I do. You could have run. Marcus knew you'd want to. But you didn't. Levi's jaw tightened. I almost did. This morning. Sat in my truck at 5 a.m. trying to convince myself to leave. To mail you the letter. To let you do this without me. Why didn't you? Because I promised him. Because, he stopped. Met her eyes. Because I've spent 16 years running and I'm tired. Because I wanted to see you. Even if it hurt. Even if you told me to leave. I just wanted to see you. Simone's chest ached. Levi. I meant what I said at the cemetery. I don't expect anything. I know you need time. I know this is complicated. But I'm not going anywhere. Not unless you tell me to. I won't. The words came out certain. Sure. Tell you to go. I won't do that. His breath caught. Simone. I don't know what this is. What we are. What we could be. But I know, she paused. Found the words. I know Marcus was right about you. You see me. Really see me. Not just the strong parts. The broken parts too. And you don't run from them. You're not broken. I am. Right now. I'm shattered. And you're sitting here holding the pieces without trying to fix them. That matters. Levi's eyes went wet. He looked away. Jaw working. He loved you so much. More than anything. I used to watch him watch you and think. He stopped. Think that's what love looks like. That's the thing worth everything. He loved you too. As much as he loved me. Different, but just as much. I know. I do know that. Which makes this harder. Because how do we? We don't figure it out tonight. Simone said gently. We keep showing up. Like Marcus asked. We fix the cabin. We have dinners. We let Nyla fall asleep on our shoulders. We take it one day at a time. One day at a time. Levi repeated. Like testing the words. Like maybe he could believe them. Starting tomorrow. Christmas morning. You should come back. For breakfast. Nyla would want you here. You sure? I'm sure. They sat in silence. The movie playing. Nyla asleep between them. The tree lights blinking. The house warm and full and less empty than it had been in 8 months. Around midnight, Simone woke Nyla gently. Come on, baby. Let's get you to bed. Nyla stumbled upstairs. Half asleep. Simone tucked her in. Kissed her forehead. Whispered. Merry Christmas, baby. Dad would be so proud of you. You think he's watching? Nyla's voice sleepy. You think he knows we made it through? Yeah. I think he knows. Good. Nyla touched the shooting star pendant. Tell Levi not to leave. Tell him to stay for breakfast. Tell him Dad said so. Simone's throat closed. I will. Downstairs, Levi had cleaned up. Put the food away. Washed dishes. He stood by the door. Coat on. Keys in hand. Ready to go. Nyla says you have to stay for breakfast. Simone said. She says Dad said so. Levi's mouth twitched. Almost a smile. She's got his tone. That don't argue with me voice. She does. Simone walked closer. So, will you come back? Tomorrow morning. What time? 9. We usually did French toast. Marcus burned it every year. We can burn it in his honor. I make decent French toast. Levi said. Could teach you. If you want. I want. Simple. True. They stood in the doorway. Snow falling outside. Christmas Eve becoming Christmas morning. The space between them full of 16 years of wanting and waiting and now, maybe, the beginning of something else. Merry Christmas, Simone. Levi said softly. Merry Christmas, Levi. He left. Truck disappearing into snow and darkness. Simone closed the door. Leaned against it. Let herself feel everything. The grief. Still there. Still heavy. But next to it now, hope. Small. Fragile. But present. She walked to the tree. Looked at the ornaments. Marcus's basketball. Her crooked reindeer. Levi's wooden cross. A family. Different than before. But still a family. On the mantel, she set the key to the cabin. The deed beside it. Marcus's last gift. His way of saying, I loved you enough to let you go. I loved you enough to give you a future. Thank you. She whispered to the empty room. To Marcus. To the ghost of him that lived in every corner. Thank you for knowing. Thank you for planning this. Thank you for loving us that much. The house stayed quiet. But the quiet felt different. Felt like peace instead of emptiness. Simone went upstairs. Past Nyla's room. Her daughter asleep with the shooting star pendant on the nightstand. Catching moonlight. In her own room, she changed into pajamas. Climbed into bed. The same bed she'd shared with Marcus for 14 years. The same bed where he'd died in March, holding her hand, whispering I love you until he couldn't anymore. She waited for the pain. The crushing weight of missing him. It came. But softer now. Less like drowning. More like waves that came and went and let her breathe between them. She fell asleep thinking about tomorrow. About French toast and Christmas morning and Levi coming back. About the cabin in the mountains waiting to be fixed. About one day at a time. About possible. About how love doesn't end just because people do. It just changes shape. Becomes something new. Becomes memory and hope and the courage to keep living. Marcus had known that. Had planned for it. Had loved her enough to give her permission to be happy after. So she would be. Eventually. In time. Starting tomorrow. Starting with Christmas morning. Starting with showing up. 6 months later. The cabin had a new roof. New deck. Plumbing that mostly worked. Simone sat on the porch in June sunlight. Coffee going cold. Watching Nyla and Levi argue about where the garden should go. Her daughter 13 now. Taller. Laughing again. The shooting star pendant always around her neck. Levi caught her watching. Smiled. That quiet smile that made her chest warm. She smiled back. No promises yet. No labels. Just days. Dinners. Projects. Slowly building something that felt like healing. Like home. Like the life Marcus had known they could have. Like love changing shape. What would you rate this story? Drop 0 to 10 in the comments right now. If this story moved you, hit subscribe for more emotional journeys every week. And if it truly touched your heart, consider leaving a super thanks. Your support helps us create more stories like this. Every contribution, big or small, means the world. Ready for the next story? It's even more dramatic than this one. Click now. Thank you for being part of this journey.